All right, it's time for an unprepared tag video. That is the Giving Book tag that Elliot Brooks puts together, and I will link the charity down below that she likes. Is the reason she put this tag together, and I'm doing it because I saw Alan from Library at Alexandria's tag, and I'm like, I kind of want to do this tag. So he posthumously tagged me, so here I am doing it, not prepared. So this is going to be all very off the top of my head, per usual with these tag videos. And I just thought that doing this tag during Thanksgiving week made sense. So here we go. Number 1, what's a book you would give everyone if you could? Okay, I've decided that I would give everyone Redemption in Indigo, which is a story that's very short, so I feel like it'll work for most people in terms of it being like consumable. I think it's timeless and it's kind of like folklore, adventure storytelling. I think it's really funny. I think it works for all ages and I love it. It's very funny, it's very whimsical, it's got great messaging. I'm actually really excited to reread this one day, pretty soon. This was a complete shock to me when I did read it, and I think it also works, if you're not like a fantasy reader, that's fine. You probably read like a Brothers Grimm or a fairy tale growing up. This would work for you. It's definitely that vibe, but with like Caribbean inspiration. So yeah, this is the one that I would give to everyone. What's a book you couldn't give a rat's hiney about? Oh boy, probably Winds of Winter, honestly. Not that it's real yet, but so even if it comes out, I know my boyfriend will read it, my mom might get it from the library, because we've all read the first 5 books. But for me, this is even regardless of the fact that it's been X amount of years since it's come out. That's whatever. I'm not actually upset about that. I'm upset that I really loved the first 3 books and I really disliked books 4 and 5. Like, I just feel like he's lost the thread. Like, everything's too far away. How are we bringing things together? What is the goal? Like, I feel like he has just too many side arcs, and that's probably why he can't get it all together right now. But yeah, Winds of Winter, I don't care about it when it comes out. I'm going to be really happy for all the Song of Ice and Fire fans. You guys deserve your conclusion. But for me, I'm just like, there's other things I want to read way more. And there's other unfinished series that I'm like a little bit more excited about, the 3rd books or 5th books or whatever when they come out. And number 3, given that the holidays are coming up, what's a book you hope someone buys for you? Oh, right. I haven't actually put together like any sort of Christmas list, and Christmas is going to be weird this year, but I'm actually, so my birthday is right by Christmas, so I get birthday and Christmas presents like kind of around the same time, but tomorrow I have a book coming in the mail that's from my stepdad that I'm very excited about. It could be Rhythm of War. Spoiler alert. But I'm really excited about that, but I'm not hoping for that. I know that's coming. I kind of want to get the hardback of Black Sun, so I kind of want to put that maybe on my Christmas list and get a copy of that. I'm trying to think if there are other ones, but I don't put a lot of books on my wish list now that I use the library pretty much all of the time. So I usually save it for like if I want a special edition, or if I want like, a hardback of something that I only have in paperback. Like my mom funded the Way of Kings Kickstarter for me. So like that's a Christmas gift she's giving me. But like, I'm not hoping for it. I already know it's happening. So I'm rubbish at this question and I'm sorry. Number 4, what's a book or series you've given up on? Well, I've already said A Song of Ice and Fire. There has to be others. I DNF series a lot. Gosh, it's been, when I give up on a series, I just like don't think about it anymore. I'm gonna go with the Temeraire series by Naomi Novik. This is her, the first book is his, oh gosh, something Majesty and Ships. You'll see an image. But it has a dragon rider relationship, and the first book was pretty fun, and the second book was okay, and then apparently I read the 3rd book like 4 years ago, rated it on Goodreads, and I couldn't tell you what happened in that book. I didn't even think I finished it, but I don't rate things on Goodreads unless I finished it. So for me, that's just like not a Naomi Novik series that's been working for me, so I've given up on it, unfortunately. I might try it out again one day. Like, I don't dislike her writing, but like it was not holding my attention span at the time. 5. Who's a character you wish an author would give more time to? If you saw my Black Sun review, I wish I got more time with Okoa. I thought his plot arc was really cool. But let's see, you know, I'm gonna say the Witcher series. I wish more time was given to Geralt. Isn't that a weird thing to say? But in like books 1 and 2 of the novels, you get minimal Geralt. And like, I really hope like Baptism of Fire, we got a lot more Geralt, but I need that to keep up, like, cause that's why we're reading the series, guys, like, right? Like, we're all there for Geralt and then Dandelion and Yennefer and Ciri, like, that's who should be on the page for me. And I don't mind the side character tangents, like, that is interesting world building, but like, I'm there for Geralt, so just make sure I get more of that. So we'll see. I'm going to read the 4th book pretty soon, so we'll see what happens. 6. Who's a character you wish an author would give less time to? My answer for this one is interesting, but it's Gideon from Gideon the Ninth. I say in my review, I kind of wish this was a 2-person point of view story. We get a lot of Gideon. I think it's all Gideon, actually. And I have nothing against her humor, I guess, although I didn't realize there was humor, so maybe that's the problem. I didn't find her funny or unfunny. I just didn't understand her. But the problem with her character is that as all this mystery and stuff is happening, she is a little, she doesn't know what's happening, which is organic. And it, I guess, helps with the mystery, but she's there with Harrow, figuring out this mystery, and we never get to see Harrow's perspective, and Harrow knows a lot more. Harrow is a lot smarter. So I would have liked to have had a second perspective to help enhance my understanding of the world and the situation. Like, that's something that I did say in my review, and I kind of still hold here. But I know that's kind of weird because the whole story's called Gideon the Ninth, but I think for me, the story would have been better if I had a different, like, 2 perspectives, you know, Gideon plus Harrow, because Gideon wasn't even like there was a lot of time where Gideon wasn't even really allowed to interact with her surroundings, and it was like, so yeah, that's what I'm going with. If you want more of my Gideon the Ninth thoughts, I do have a spoiler-free review, but it's basically just not for me. It's really the short of it is it was a lot of work and really confusing, and yeah, I do think for me it would be better if it had a second character and therefore less Gideon. 7. If you had to give up almost all of your books, which ones would you keep? I feel like this is obvious, but I would keep these 5 books for sure. And I think I have my 3 paperbacks of His Dark Materials I would keep. I think those are the big ones. Everything else I could replace and has no like sentimental value to me, I'm pretty sure. Because like each of these books is like an absurd amount of money. It's worth it for me, but like, I mean, when I moved, they didn't get put in a box in the moving truck. They got put in a box in the car, sort of thing. And I'm very sentimentally attached to my His Dark Material original like paperbacks. I've been reading them for years. So I think those are the ones. One, because it'd be really expensive to replace these, not impossible. And the other ones is just sentimental value. 8. What's the best book or bookish thing you've ever been given? Goodness, I think this is like a really maybe weird answer besides books, because I assume bookish means I can't say books, but this bookshelf in particular was a gift my mom gave me. I mean, probably this one too, but I was like a teenager. I didn't buy my own bookshelves when I was 13. This just kind of showed up in my bedroom one day. But when I was in Boston, I was realizing, oh, I probably need more than one bookshelf, which is a slippery slope. But without telling me, my mom bought this bookshelf and sent it to me. But I wasn't home when the package came, and FedEx wouldn't leave it. So I didn't know a package was coming. So I got home and FedEx was like, hey, come to X place to pick up your package. And luckily I had to drive to that place and I couldn't take public transit, because I thought maybe Amazon was using FedEx, because I didn't think books were coming, like I had ordered books. So, but I drove to FedEx to go pick up this package, and they come out with this huge box. And I'm like, that doesn't have my Amazon books. And it turns out my mom sent me a bookshelf, but didn't tell me. So that was really cool. And like, I mean, I love it. I love this bookshelf. I mean, I like the color of this one more and that it's like taller, but this one folds up. So moving with a bookshelf that folds and becomes flat is like 10 out of 10. So yeah, it's probably my best bookish present. 9, what's a book someone gave you that you wish you could give right back? Oof, that's harsh. I mean, I don't know. This is an example of not one of that I'll give right back, but like an example of a book that I'm not excited to read that was gifted to me. And that is The Other Einsteins. I've had this 2 years now, and I probably actually won't hate it when I read it, but it's not my genre, right? Like this is like historical fiction, heavily sort of inspired by historical people. And so in theory, it's about Einstein's first wife, I believe, who was a physicist in her own right, if not in title because of misogyny in the 40s. But I guess not 40s, the 30s. Well, it was still there in the 40s, arguably still here now. But it's kind of loosely based on her story from what I know. And it's just that like, I just don't pick up historical fiction often. And I usually like historical fiction, but like it now just sits on my shelf as a gift and I feel bad because I don't want to get rid of it, but it's not like high on my TBR. So that happens pretty often, but like that's the harshest I can be. I usually don't hate gifts. Like gifts are great. Like you thought of me. That's wonderful. This happens more with board games. People give me board games all the time when they know I like board games and I'm like, no, I didn't want this board game. I will tell you what board game I want. Because board games are bigger and more expensive. 10, name a time in a book that a character was given something really meaningful. And I have to do this spoiler free, huh? Given something really meaningful, huh? Well, I guess this is pretty spoiler-free. His Dark Materials. Lyra's given the Golden Compass in the Golden Compass, and it's really important for like the plot, and it's also kind of sentimental. But like, yeah, we'll go with that. That seems right. So that was the giving tag. I should probably tag people, but like Elliot tagged lots of people, so, and then Alan tagged lots of people. All right, so no pressure to do this tag. It is the holiday season, so I know everything is crazy, but let's tag Elena the Great. I will tag you in the giving tag. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's see. I will tag the Codex Cantina because I haven't tagged you guys in a while and I do love watching your tag videos. And I'll tag one more for good measure. I will tag Annalisa because I love her channel. If you guys aren't watching her channel, you're sleeping on her channel. Her channel's great. She does such good, thoughtful wrap-ups, and she's great with like autistic awareness material. You need to check out Annalisa. But those are 3 people I tag. Like I said, no pressure, and I also think you should follow all of these people. They all have really thoughtful takes on books, actually. I didn't do that on purpose, but all of them like do very in-depth, thoughtful takes. I mean, the Codex Cantina, their whole thing is like delving deep into the meaning behind short stories. So yeah, and if you made it this far, put a turkey for Thanksgiving in the comments. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.